Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Gala. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and why not leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description below you'll find a link to the Discord. Why not check it out? It's free to join. Once in the general chat area, just mention a member of staff. We'd be happy to help you out with anything you may need. Okay, so let's get into the video. So not really much has changed too much. We're still looking for the same possibilities. So effectively, we are looking for the possibility that we could actually have this as a completed move, and actually we're still looking to break down from here. So we're still looking at that potential, and then the alternative, which I'm going to go over first because this would be basically within the structure here. We were arguing that we potentially could look at a diagonal pattern here. I'm not really liking the initial wave one within this, so it is still possible though. What we were looking for is we're looking for the potential of this 5 wave. We actually came back down deeper into the support box than we had anticipated. Not much deeper, just one more low effectively. And it is possible now we could potentially look to move away from here, though we don't really have any good structure here to work off of. We can argue that we have got something like a 1 2 1 2, and then we'll just look to move up, but we don't really have that confirmation. And to be honest with you, the stochastics are looking like we actually want to come down again, so it is possible we have to come down a little bit more here. But if we do rally, effectively what I'd be looking for, or for the current structure we have, would be a move above this 1618 would sort of validate that we are starting to move up, and we'd look at that potentially then as a 1 2 3 4 and a 5. Obviously we'd have an additional leg within this where this is a 1 2 3, so it would actually push this third wave up. And effectively, for the current structure, like I said, I don't know if we are completed to the downside yet. I think we've got to come back deeper here myself, but the 6129 would confirm that we have a impulsive trigger or impulsive structure here, which could then actually be looking to target out towards the 6805. If we do manage to push up to this zone, it would indicate that we have an additional 4th and a 5th wave here. However, if we fail to do that, then effectively this could just look to break down. And if we do look at this potentially from this point, we can still argue that we could form a ABC to the upside, which this 1-to-1 area would be the 6189. And it wouldn't take this high point and would still basically lead for the other sell-off potential that we were talking about. But we'll go over that within the video as well, so make sure you stay tuned so you don't miss out on it. Yeah, so for the most part, if we continue to hold these zones of this 5441, we can argue that we're setting up a 1-2-1-2, and then this is going to progress to the upside. We'd have to argue that this is a diagonal within here, or potentially the whole thing is going to be a diagonal where this is a 1 2 3 4 and a 5, and then we actually look to retrace to the downside. Or for the current area, support would be this 5414. If we're looking at this as a potential area for support, we'd be looking at this zone here. I do think, however, one way or another, we need to see either the structure needs to move up some more, and we sort of look to progress up in a 1 2 3 and then 4 and a 5, or alternatively we can argue that this is a 1 2 3 4 and a 5, and then we're going to get a diagonal shape within here, something like this. It's more of a channel than anything at the moment. That's what I'm thinking. We either need to come down. Basically, if we do come down, this would be our support box. If we do move into that zone, effectively we can argue we're going to be looking for that push to the upside. However, if we lose, like I said, this low of this 5441, that would invalidate this 1-2-1-2 situation where we could be looking for. The support for that 1-2-1-2 effectively would be a little bit higher here, so I'm going to just have to come in deeper here. Basically 50% would be 5604, and 78.6 would be 5510. If we lose that 5510 area, it becomes less likely that this is playing out, and like I said, then effectively once we lose this low point here, it becomes more likely we are following the other option. The only other way that this could be could be still within this move. Would be if it was in this wave 2, and effectively it would just mean that we'd have to find support again in this zone of this 5206 to this 5432, and basically this support zone would actually be getting revisited. So if we just look at this as a whole move, so if we're talking about this extending as an ABC, 1-to-1 would be this 5239. So what we can get within this is effectively we might get a structure like this where we have an A, a B, and a C to the downside. So if we hold this low here of this 5035, that would indicate that we could actually look to continue to the upside still, and then we'd be looking for that confirmation. So if we do come down lower to that zone, effectively our target zone would be this 6707 would be the impulsive trigger. So it depends where we come down. If we come down to that 702, it would be slightly higher, and so on and so forth. So we'll just have to give it a bit of time here and see what happens. But for as long as we hold these lows and we start to set higher lows here, we could actually still be looking for this potential to extend to the upside. And like we said in the previous video, effectively what we'd want to see here though, if we are looking for this to be a diagonal, is we'd want to actually see a full 5-wave move complete, we get a retracement, and then we'd see another 5-wave move complete. And I think I marked it. I didn't. Let me just pull it off again. So this move would have to go above the area of 16903 to be valid. So if we do see a 3-wave move here that actually moves up past that zone, it is possible that we could see that play out. So either we are going to need to make another 5-wave move here, which doesn't form a 4th and a 5th. So just basically something that goes like this, whether this is an A, B, and then we get a C, and then we actually look to break down and cross this wave 1 high again and invalidate the chance of extension to the upside. So that's basically the two options we're looking at for Gala within regards to that bullish side of it there. I do think, however, we are potentially priming to come lower here, and we did talk about this being potentially completed further back here, and we're looking for this potentially either as a W, X, and a Y, which in reality we would be looking to come down a bit deeper here. So the 1-to-1 as a C wave would be this 4792, and the 1-to-1 of the Y would effectively be this 4820. I don't really like this one as much as looking at this potentially as a flat correction, and but it is still possible. So if we do get a 3-wave move here and we actually don't develop this 5-wave structure to the upside, effectively what we'd have to look at is this is a flat, then as this is an A, a B, this potentially is an A, B, and then a C wave to the downside. So what we'd be looking to do with that is effectively off this current structure, 1-to-1 would be down to this 5241, but I don't think that would be deep enough for it to fulfill this as a WXY. I'd want to see a bit of a deeper move, potentially challenging this low point here. There is potential this could extend out where this becomes a 1-2-1-2, but we're going to go over that option now. So like I said, I do prefer the idea that this could rather be a flat than a WXY. So we're going to be going over that now. So basically within this structure, what we'd be looking at is this is a 1-2-1-2. It is also potentially possible we can argue that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into here. As it would have to be a diagonal though, because this wave 5 crosses this, sorry, this wave 4 crosses this wave 1. So if that is the case, what we'd then be looking for is effectively looking for this rejection within this area here of this 50% to this 786. So we haven't, the thing is within this, what we'd want to see then is basically another leg to the upside if we're looking at this as a diagonal here, because what we'd want to see is effectively this play out like this, where this becomes a 1, we come back up for a 2, fail to break above this high point here of this 62.93, and then actually look for a deep retracement. So that's something that we still need to keep an eye on. If we do move up higher here, we still need to be aware of this zone, and I'm actually going to just drop a box on here right now. So we've already come into this area, and we did face rejection. So it is possible that we could have started this move away already. The way we would have to look at it, if we are looking at it within this current structure that I have marked out, is that potentially we would either have this as a 1-2, 1-2, and we're actually going to start to break down. But confirmation of that would only be by moving much deeper within this structure. So what we'd want to see is we'd actually want to see a move down past this 4965. If we move past this 4965, then we can argue that we are potentially within this white third wave here. And we'd be looking at this move as a 1, 2. This would become a 3, a 4, and a 5. And then effectively we would get an additional 4th and a 5th. So the typical third wave area would be targeting for this other wave here. I'm going to change the color to yellow. For this yellow wave here, effectively would be this 450 area. So if we do get this as a 5-wave move and it does play out to the downside here, we take out this low, hit this 4966, and then basically get an additional move here to the downside. We can argue that I'll just get a rough area where this could potentially look to complete. So let's just flick this around here up into there. So potentially between this 4899 to this 4797 area. So this would be a little zone which we could look to find support if that's the case. In which case, what we'd be looking for then is an additional 1, 2, 3. We'd look to retest this 4th area and look to push down. So that would be how I would see us getting down here if this actually plays out. We need to just get that confirmation. Until we actually break down to this 4966, there isn't enough confirmation within the structure. And like I said, we do have a bullish potential here still. So we just got to keep an eye on it. If we do actually break down, hit this zone, end up somewhere in this 4895 to this 4798, it is possible then we get some further extension within the structure. If it is extending, we need to be careful because this might push down deeper. This third wave might get a bit more violent in its decline, and we could actually look for a deeper move. But effectively, by moving down into the zone of this 4500, that would actually validate a deeper move here, and we could actually look for ending up towards this zone of this 4392 to this 4230. So this is something that we were basically looking at as having a 1-2-1-2 at the top here. So like I said, there's two ways we can look at this. Either we look at this as a 1 and a 2, and then we break down. So if we do push up and take this high point, that could still set us up for that wave 2. And what we'd be looking for then is, like I said, either we're going to get this where we get this 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we'll get an additional 4th and a 5th, which would actually take us down lower here to this 4214 to this 0414 area. So that's something we're just looking out for. Like I said in the previous video, we are potentially looking to come much deeper here towards this 2941 to this 2038, but we don't have confirmation of that yet. So we just need to plot it out and see how this plays out. Other areas of interest, if we are having a flat here, it is possible we might not move down as deep as this, and we might move down only towards this 382 or this 50%. So this is an interesting area. If it is a really shallow flat, we could potentially end on this 263, which does end within this 5-wave box. So we'll have to just keep an eye on that. If we do move down here, we just need to see how we react, because it is possible, like I said in the previous video, we could form something like this, where this is an A, we come back for a B wave retracement, and we break to the downside. So we just got to give this a little bit of time, and we will keep you up to date as we see the moves happen. I do primarily think that we're going to start breaking down here. If we fail to do so though, then we have that potential bullish option that we talked about, where we might be looking for one more push to the upside here for to complete a diagonal, and then look to actually break down from there. If we however do, like I said, push so if we move up past this zone here, I'm going to just take it off this area here, this 0611 area, then we would have a 5-wave move here, like I said in the previous option. And then we would have to look for, if we're looking for a diagonal, either a B wave to the downside and another C wave, or alternatively there could be some extension within this which isn't apparent at the moment, and potentially we could look at maybe this being a 1 2 1 2 3 4 5, and then we start to push up some more. So that would be what I'm looking for if we do start to push up. However, I do primarily think that we are on our way to the downside, whether that is just a shallower retracement down to these zones, or whether we get a much deeper push here towards this lower region. Well, we'll keep you up to date with the information as we get it, and I hope everyone has a great weekend. We'll see you in the next one. Make sure that if you haven't already and enjoyed the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. If you're new to Crypto Rosetta, we do a lot of coins every day, so if you want to request any, just drop them in the comments section. Also in the description below, you'll find a link to the Discord. Why not come check it out? It's free to join. Once you're in there, just mention a member of the staff and we'll be happy to help you out. Also in the description, there is a link to BYBIT and Prime XBT. Using the links does help support the team, and they are both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis that we use for our trading, whether that's spot or leverage trading, both great exchanges. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it there. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Take care, everybody.